All right, come have coffee with me and let's discuss some more fictional characters in books that really kind of fit into what I was talking about yesterday. Now, mind you, this is all my opinion, this is all my interpretation and my thoughts, and I'm just having fun. Okay, so today I want to talk about King Solomon. King Solomon is very well known in the Bible, and he has a very large presence in a lot of history. Now, why am I talking about King Solomon? So, King Solomon was this guy who was really obsessed with alchemy. And he wanted to try to figure out how to create something that would be able to control people and to control the world, or even to have them do his bidding. So he got a hold of an alchemist, and this alchemist decided to investigate and try to create this specific kind of stone of philosophy, aka philosopher's stone. This stone was being created by the life source of a young human that runs through the veins. I have to be coded, I'm sorry. And with that, he was able to create a stone that could summon demons, it could summon jinn, it could summon any kind of entity that they needed in order to rule. I'm just going to say it that way. And I want to take a side quest here and talk about an island that was doing some shady stuff and their research and what they were looking into, and really think about the correlation of the child or the young humans that they were utilizing. Now, this also needs to be mentioned, that everything is gray. So we have the dark and we have the light. So they were summoning to do dark arts. Now, if you were able to create this philosopher's stone with positive way and use the same things, the demons, the angels, the jinn, for positive, you would be able to use it for positive. As so above, so below. Okay, back to the story. So they created this stone that would be able to summon those beings. But this stone also had other things it could do. It could turn lead into gold. Again, side quest. Has anyone been paying attention to CERN? CERN just discovered that they can turn lead into gold. So that's just a really interesting quinkadink. Now, the stone could also be mixed into water, and it creates the elixir of life. And this elixir of life would prevent aging, cure illness, and it would be able to do all of these miraculous things for health. Now, I also have another side quest. Think about what's been going on with celebrities and what's been going on with aging. And ever since that specific island had been at least slowed down, because I don't think it's been stopped, but it's been slowed down. Look how fast and rapid everybody's aging and changing. That elixir that the stone could potentially create would no longer be as accessible, because they have to go back and try to figure out how to reamp up their procedure. I don't think anything ever gets stopped. I just think it gets slowed, and then we forget about it and we go back to normal, and everything changes back to the original plan that they were planning. Now, the whole purpose of this is to get to King Solomon and his lineage. He could not rule from his lineage because he had a blood curse. How he got the blood curse, I have not learned. If you have that information, pop it into the comments and enlighten me, please. However, this blood curse prevents his direct descendants from becoming king. Now, King Solomon had a brother named Nathan, and Nathan was really a good, different version of Solomon. So Nathan decided he didn't want to have anything to do with the royalty aspect of it, and decided to go and live a normal life with his family. He worked the land. He had his own life beside being a ruler. Now, I don't know if you know Jesus' lineage, but we're about to get into that juicy gossip. Joseph, Jesus' stepdad, was a direct descendant of King Solomon. So he wouldn't have been able to have a son that would rule, right? Well, Mary was a direct descendant of Nathan, who didn't have the blood curse. So her child would be able to rule as king because he was a direct descendant of the bloodline without having the blood curse. So Joseph couldn't have sired Jesus, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to be the king of the, I'm just going to say it, the king of the Jews. And that would have put a big kink into the mix. Another little interesting piece about King Solomon is that he was ordered to build a temple. And in that temple was supposed to be stored the Ark of the Covenant. I'm not sure if that temple ever got built. Again, can somebody please enlighten me? Because I am reading 1,000 books together and I'm trying to piece this all together. And that covenant, Ark of the Covenant, is supposed to be a very important part of history. But the Philosopher's Stone plays a huge part in it too. And if we're going to go into more books here, and I was researching this through a fellow friend of mine who is very closely friend with me, and that's his side of the occult. I'm more along the lines of piecing together religion, and then he's really along the lines of piecing together occult. And together, it all intersects and blows up, and it's insane. I'm going to get the names of the books and put them in the head of my post here. But isn't it just kind of interesting? And then if you really are interested in lineage, you should look into how all of our presidents have been related, except for I believe one, and how they're all related to royalty. And even some of our celebrities are also a part of it, because everything is a deception and they're all working together to keep us deceived. So, yeah, it's a fun little fact. There is also another feller who decided to create the Philosopher's Stone without using the dark arts. And I'll put his book in the same spot that I put the other book. But this is all a part of everything. It all intersects and it all goes together. And I know I'm rambling right now, but I'm hoping that this will make sense and that some people might have a little bit more knowledge on the further where we're going to go with this. And if you're seeing the pieces I'm tying together.